Call this meeting of March 20th, 2003 to order. 2023 to order. Stand for the pledge. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Carrie, could we have the roll call, please?
Sure. Let's see. Councilmember Shippers.
Here.
Ellenboss.
Present.
Ingalls.
Here.
King.
Here.
Mayor Filkins.
Here. At this time, if we could get a motion to approve the agenda as it's been presented.
I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Councilmember Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. We'll go ahead and open the floor for our first public comment this evening. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment and move forward with the approval of the consent agenda. And this evening, we do have the minutes from the regular meeting that was held on March 6th.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second it.
Councilmember Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Ellenboss.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, this evening we do have a communication from CAPS.
Yes, we have a communication from CAPS for a banner to be approved for the kindergarten roundup to be displayed from April 3rd to April 10th.
I'll make a motion to approve the display of a banner from April 3rd through 10th, 2023 for kindergarten roundup for CAPS.
Support.
Councilmember King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. And Marcus, that takes us to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. First item is a request regarding the acquisition of road salt. I know that we're just celebrating the first day of spring, and we're already talking about winter again, but this is the time of year where municipalities and other agencies that treat Michigan roads with road salt look at getting into the game, essentially, and participating in the My Deal program, and we are looking at joining over 400 agencies across the state to do such a thing. Our council communication references our estimate of about 2,500 tons of road salt. We believe that'll come in at around $75 a ton, bringing the number up to $187,500. We do have funds available in our stores and garage fund for this purchase. And we are asking council for support to participate in the My Deal program. And just want to note that we are looking at 2,500 tons, not 2,000 tons in the resolution.
How much did we usually buy per year? Did we use it all?
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Do you know?
Yeah, last year we bought 2,000 tons, and we had some left over, and we're getting very, very low this year. Part of the problem was the ice. We've had a lot of ice, and we put out a lot of salt with that.
Okay.
So
Thank-
it's a little bit more than last year, but similar.
Part of the problem is if we don't get enough, when we need additional, either the price might be significantly higher and or the ability of getting it in a timely manner might be difficult. So.
Well, I would make a motion to authorize the city to participate in the My Deal competitive bidding process and approve the commitment to purchase up to 2,000 tons of seasonal.
2,500.
2,500, it says two there. 2,500 tons of seasonal road salt through the resulting state of Michigan contract at the unit cost bid approved by the state of Michigan.
I'll support.
Councilmember Shippers.
Yes.
Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The next request for your consideration is a recommendation regarding the rental of a mechanical sweeper. City Council and Mayor may or may not recall that we did this last year. It was a successful program, and we're looking at continuing it again this year. using an additional piece of equipment for 2 months of time. I believe, Owen, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but once in the spring and then once back in the fall. We are looking at asking council to waive competitive bidding and authorize the rental of a mechanical sweeper from McQueen Equipment for 1 month in the spring of '23 and an additional month in the fall of '23. The cost is $11,790 per month. We do have funds available in the stores and garage fund. And the only change from last year is that McQueen Equipment of St. Paul, Minnesota acquired Bell Equipment, and that's the company of record for the rental. This is very specialized equipment, and that's why we're looking for the waiver of the bid.
Do we need 2 motions? Or
We
just
do.
one? Okay.
We do. One to waive and then the second to approve.
Was this is the second year we're gonna be doing this then?
Yes.
Running it? Okay.
It's quite a machine. I'll make a motion to waive competitive bidding and authorize rental of mechanical street sweeping from McQueen Equipment for 1 month in the spring of 2023 and an additional month in the fall of 2023 at the cost.
I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
Councilmember. We actually, it's been our tradition to do 2 motions. I apologize, it wasn't written.
One
down.
just for the,
Yeah, one just for the waiver of bid.
Didn't I
and
say?
then-
Oh, so
the second one has to be a different motion.
So if we stop at competitive bidding and then.
okay, so
That's,
I make a motion to waive competitive bidding for the street sweeper rental.
I'll support
Councilmember Ellenboss,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
King,
that. Yes.
Shippers,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
yes, motion carries.
And now I make a motion to authorize rental of mechanical street sweeper for McQueen Equipment for 1 month in the spring of 2023 and an additional month in the fall of 2023 at a cost of $11,790 per month.
Support.
Councilmember Ingalls,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Ellenboss.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, and apologize for any confusion there.
Yeah, sorry, it was
Uh,
me. Confused, not you.
The next item is our recommendation regarding the Leicester Street improvement project. We did talk about this as a part of our capital improvements program in the work session earlier. We did put it out for bid, received 2 bids with our recommendation this evening going to CJ's Excavating Inc. out of Cadillac. The project does involve utilities. It also involves sidewalks. It's all in the proximity of Franklin Elementary School, and we really believe that this will be a project that'll go a long way to resolving infrastructure-related issues in that area. The recommendation this evening would be to award the project, including a 10% contingency. That would bring the total award to $1,100,910.01. Funds are available in the local street fund and the water and sewer fund for this project.
I'd make a motion to award the contract to CJ's Excavating, Inc. as presented for the base bid and to approve a 10% contingency for city engineer to approve field changes in quantity or scope due to unknowns in municipal utilities and underground conditions, bringing the total recommended award to $1,100,910.01.
Support.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Ellenboss.
Yeah.
Ingalls.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. The next item for your consideration this evening, again, was also discussed at the council's work session earlier this evening. This is regarding the resurfacing of several streets in our community. And I'm going to just quickly touch upon them in summary. They are on page 2, but I think for the general public to have an idea, we're looking at doing a project on Leeson Street at the Wright Street intersection, Leeson Street at the Arthur Street intersection, 6th Avenue from 6th to 8th Street, River Street from Hemlock Street to Power Street, Hemlock and Lincoln, which is from Nelson south to Lincoln east to Pine, Division Street from May Street to Blodgett Street, Holbrook Street from Division Street to Garfield Street, Delmar Street from Cass Street to Chapin Street, Rush Street from Cass Street to Chapin Street, Shelby Street from Cass Street to Harris Street, Maple Leaf from Howard Street to Everett Street, Whaley Street from Carmel Street intersection, also Whaley Street from the curve east of Carmel Street, Whaley Street from Paulter Street intersection, Paulter Street from Mitchell Street to east of Wilcox Street, and Carmel Street from Cobb Street to Stimson Street. What is significantly different between this program versus what you just approved is what you just approved was a whole complete reconstruction utilities as well, which has been our traditional approach when redoing streets. This is an approach where we are going to be able to really spread the available funds across a huge spectrum of some of the most troubled areas in the community and look at resurfacing versus complete reconstruction. And so we're really hopeful that this will meet a lot of the needs. This information is also obviously all available online through our packet, but it will also be, I believe, part of the CIP, Owen, as well?
Yes.
Yes. So, the information is certainly out there. The recommendation this evening is to utilize Elmer's Crane and Dozer Inc., including a 5% contingency. It would bring their amount to $576,681.79, which again is a clear example of the difference between one project at $1 million versus, let's just say, a dozen projects at $500,000.
I love how this shares the wealth and is a real good use of funds. I'll make a motion to award the contract to Elmer's Crane and Dozer, Inc. for the base bid of $549,220.75, and to approve a 5% contingency for city engineer-approved field changes in quantity or scope due to deteriorated pavement conditions, bringing the total recommended award to $576,681.79.
I'll second.
Everybody's so.
Councilmember Shippers.
Yes.
Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. The last item, at least that I have to discuss officially here under introduction of ordinances, is a request to adopt a resolution that introduces an ordinance amending the city's zoning map for the purposes of setting a public hearing for April 3rd of 2023. John will have our Community Development Director a couple of slides to share, not tonight, but as a part of the public hearing. But the basic backdrop for context was this item was considered by the Planning Commission at their last meeting. It was overwhelmingly approved. There was one nay vote on the commission, but the majority of the commission did approve moving it forward for City Council consideration. And this would change the zoning use where the property located off of, what is it, Pine?
Pine Street.
And do you know what the cross-section is by any chance?
Is it no?
No, it's the building directly behind, adjacent to the Book Nook.
Thank you. So it's the,
The Levan.
Bob Levan's.
yeah, the former
Got it.
Levando.
Bob's, yeah.
Would change the current zoning designation, which is Office 2
OS2 to B2.
to B2, thereby allowing that property to be used as a short-term rental.
Great use of that property.
So tonight's purpose is setting the hearing.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to introduce ordinance to amend the city zoning map and set a public hearing for April 3rd, 2023.
I'll second that.
Councilmember Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. This time we'll open the floor for our second public comment. Seeing no one? Oh, there you are. Welcome.
Thank you. I more have a question. So with the zoning that's going to be on April 3rd, like that meeting, will that cover the entire city or is it just that one property? Okay, just that one. When is the meeting to actually look at the zoning for the entire city for short-term versus long-term rental?
We're not,
So typically, we don't go back and forth during public comments. We'll do our best to address your question in our good of the order that falls at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
So just stand by to stand by.
Okay.
Good question.
All righty.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no one else, we'll close public comment and we'll move to the good of the order, and if you
Happy to jump in.
Okay.
Mayor, members of the city council, during public comment, question was raised this evening regarding the overall process for our zoning code and zoning code updates as it pertains to short-term rentals. That will be addressed as a part of the overall rewrite of our zoning code that we're still going through. There will be public, at least 1 or 2 public forums, probably 1 for sure, outside of the normal public hearing process that we'll do. And then there'll certainly be a public hearing process that happens both at the planning commission level as well as the city council level. There are no dates yet known for when that's going to happen. It'll happen presumably sometime during this calendar year, but I don't know precisely the timing just yet.
Great, thank you.
No, we held off on doing or discussing that topic too much because the legislature had communicated, and it was right on the precipice of taking that type of control away from us.
And they're still wobbling with it.
And I know we're looking at like a zoning solution, but does there need to be a policy solution, and do we actually need to start having that conversation? Because this was how many years ago that we put this off because of what the legislature, indicated.
Mhm. So honestly, it's a question that could be answered with an answer that I could say maybe, because currently under interpretation of our code, short-term rental usage is allowed under the B2 district, which then does not allow it within your R1 districts, your single-family neighborhood homes. And so the big potential controversy out there about introducing short-term rental facilities within your most stringent zoning layer, which would be your R1 layer, we have, for the lack of a better way of describing it, avoided that conversation, because we're saying, looking at our current code and the way we've interpreted our current code, it's already allowed in tourist recreational or TS districts, and it's allowed in our B2 districts, and those districts don't include the R1, obviously, because they're separate. So if council wishes to delve into looking at allowing it in more areas, that would be something that you guys could talk about or offer even that feedback as a part of the upcoming public process that we're going to look at doing as a part of the zoning. So I don't know if that helped at all with what your question was.
Yeah, I'm
but
not.
it
I'm
really
not,
is sort of a maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what my feelings are, but yeah, that definitely helped.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yes, John?
For anyone's interest in what's currently allowed, I do have a memo on the website under news and announcements. I think it says memo about short-term rental. It's a detailed memo regarding where you can do short-term rentals in the city at the present time. So that is available online.
Might be a map there too, right?
I'm not sure if a map's out there, but it speaks specifically to what zoning districts you're allowed to do short-term rental in.
Thank you, John. Okay.
Nothing?
Nothing.
I'd like to just congratulate the Cadillac Vikings boys basketball team for the playoff run, beating 2 undefeated teams and facing Saginaw next. They have the work cut out for them, but it's been a great season. Congratulations. And that's it for me.
No one else? All right, then we'll go ahead and adjourn. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.